Welcome back to Data Trends. In this video, we compare fuel consumption across popular long haul commercial aircraft to see which jets are the most efficient over distance.
Boeing 787-8 Gen X roughly burns 19 pounds per mile while carrying 220 seats. Boeing 787-8 roughly burns 19.1 pounds per mile while carrying 243 seats. Airbus A330-800 roughly burns 19.3 pounds per mile while carrying 248 seats. Boeing 787-8 Trent roughly burns 19.5 pounds per mile while carrying 220 seats. Boeing 787-9 Gen X roughly burns 19.9 pounds per mile while carrying 266 seats. Boeing 787-9 roughly burns 20 pounds per mile while carrying 304 seats. Boeing 787-9 Gen X roughly burns 20.8 pounds per mile while carrying 294 seats. Airbus A330-900 roughly burns 21.1 pounds per mile while carrying 300 seats. Boeing 787-10 Gen X roughly burns 21.7 pounds per mile while carrying 337 seats. Boeing 787-10 Trent roughly burns 22.1 pounds per mile while carrying 337 seats. Airbus A350-900 roughly burns 21.4 pounds per mile while carrying 315 seats. Airbus A330-200 roughly burns 23 pounds per mile while carrying 241 seats. Airbus A350-900 roughly burns 23.1 pounds per mile while carrying 318 seats. Airbus A330-200 roughly burns 23.2 pounds per mile while carrying 248 seats. Airbus A330-300 roughly burns 24.2 pounds per mile while carrying 274 seats. Boeing 777-200ER roughly burns 26.3 pounds per mile while carrying 301 seats. Airbus A350-900 roughly burns 25.1 pounds per mile while carrying 315 seats. Boeing 787-9 roughly burns 25.5 pounds per mile while carrying 291 seats. Airbus A340-300 roughly burns 26 pounds per mile while carrying 262 seats. Boeing 777-200ER roughly burns 26.4 pounds per mile while carrying 301 seats. Airbus A350-1000 roughly burns 26.5 pounds per mile while carrying 327 seats. Boeing 777-200ER roughly burns 26.9 pounds per mile while carrying 304 seats. Boeing 777-200LR roughly burns 26.9 pounds per mile while carrying 291 seats. Airbus A350-1000 roughly burns 26.9 pounds per mile while carrying 367 seats. Boeing 777-9X roughly burns 27.3 pounds per mile while carrying 395 seats. Boeing 777-300ER roughly burns 30.1 pounds per mile while carrying 365 seats. Boeing 777-300ER roughly burns 30.4 pounds per mile while carrying 344 seats. Boeing 777-300ER roughly burns 31.4 pounds per mile while carrying 382 seats. Boeing 747-8 roughly burns 37.4 pounds per mile while carrying 467 seats. Boeing 747-8 roughly burns 39 pounds per mile while carrying 405 seats. Boeing 747-400 roughly burns 39.4 pounds per mile while carrying 416 seats. Boeing 747-400 roughly burns 41.9 pounds per mile while carrying 393 seats. Boeing 747-400 roughly burns 43.7 pounds per mile while carrying 487 seats. Airbus A380 roughly burns 48.9 pounds per mile while carrying 525 seats. Airbus A380 roughly burns 48.9 pounds per mile while carrying 544 seats.